Good morning. I hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend, and that you were safe and happy, and that you also had the chance to do a little bit of studying and practicing. Today's posts are going to keep working on a couple of things that we have started working on. We are going to do this week some grammar about one tense that I think sometimes is forgotten and people don't talk a lot about. And that is the different ways that we can talk about things that are going to happen in the future. There are many different future tenses. And as I said, sometimes teachers don't spend a lot of time talking about these. We are also going to continue to learn about education in Canada, learning about how education is organized, how it's paid for, how it's different than the system in your home country. And also, we are going to look at different education programs in Nanaimo. Because over the last week, I see that there are a lot of people who are interested in learning and trying new things. So that's very exciting. So today, in the comments section, I'll talk a little bit about our posts. To be marked present today, what you need to do is like a post, make one comment, complete the video, and I have two other tasks for you, and let's see if you can do them. The first one is, I ask everyone, as part of your homework or pre-class work, is to answer this question. Do you want to attend college, university, or a training program here in Nanaimo? Okay, it's a question I think I've asked before, but I'll put that there. And the second thing is, I thought this might be interesting. In Edmodo, you can upload photographs, pictures. Do you take pictures with your camera? Well, if you do, a little challenge before tomorrow's class or meetup. Can you post a photograph that you took on the weekend? Make sure the photograph is not too personal. And maybe it's someplace you visited on the weekend. Maybe it's a photograph of something you saw on the weekend. But see if you can use Edmodo to post a photograph. You will notice in the comments section, there's a little window that you can press to upload a picture. And I'm going to see if I can do it on the weekend from my weekend pictures. And let's see if you can post something. And on Tuesday during our meetup, we'll see if you can talk a little bit about that post. So today's video that I shared with you, watch the video. This video talks about education in Canada. Education in Canada. And the video comes from the government of Canada. And it's meant for newcomers to Canada with information, very high level, top, big information about schools. I learned something about YouTube. If you go to the bottom of your player, you will see a little shape. It kind of looks like this. I kind of looks like that, or maybe it's more of a circle with little bumps on it. Anyway, it's your settings. If you go to your YouTube settings when you are playing a YouTube video, you can slow down the speed so that when you listen, it's actually slower than the people are speaking. It's a good way to help if your video is too hard. Maybe on Tuesday I'll show you how to do that. You'll see the player screen. There's a little settings button on the bottom that you can change the playback speed so that the person talks slower. And that might help you if you find the videos hard. So watch the video about schools in Canada, take notes, and then try the quiz. Now, I also posted information about different kinds of schools. So you'll see a reading with information about school activities in BC. And then I put a simple grammar exercise on something we did not. Oh yes, I also asked this question. Many schools in BC are very inclusive. They are accessible schools. But there are also special schools that are for special situations. I think I posted a reading about a First Nations school for First Nations children. In some places, boys and girls go to separate schools. So I'm wondering if you think it's a good idea or a bad idea for all children to be in one school, or should there be cases where some children are in one kind of school and other children in another? And a good example is, should boys go to a boys' school and girls to a girls' school? That's very common in some places. The last post for Monday is on imperatives. It's one of these topics that not a lot of teachers talk about, but the imperative is really used to give commands. Sit down, eat this, watch me. So it's a short exercise on giving commands. And since we are talking about school and teachers a little bit, I thought maybe a discussion of imperative is a good one. Now for tomorrow's meetup, last week we did a few exercises about vocabulary and different school-related vocabulary. So if you have some questions about that vocabulary, we can talk about them tomorrow. So I hope you're having a really good day. I hope your Monday is very good. And again, when you watch YouTube, a really good hint, if you look at the settings on the bottom of the page, there's two very useful settings. One is closed caption. So sometimes you can put closed captions on, and then it will print on the screen whatever people are speaking. Sometimes you can get closed captions in another language. And that's always something to check for. It might actually have your first language in closed captions on the bottom. The second thing to look for is if a video is very hard. I think as someone said last week that our video on the inclusive school was hard. You can change the playback speed to make the people speak slower. And there's a little button on the bottom that you can click, and then the people will speak slower, and it might be easier for you to understand. So that is today's posts. I hope everyone is feeling great. Take care and talk soon.